Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Siti Nur Aimi Fitri, Binti Ahmad Ridzalman, student number 2020-954277. This is component 5, Ice-Breaking Speech, Practice 1, Persuasive. For this practice, I will be talking about this book here. You might notice that it has two titles here, Animal Farm, and the other one is 1984. Both are written by George Orwell, and both are equally famous for their own aspect. But today I am going to talk about the famous reading, none other, The Animal Farm by George Orwell, and how and why it should be a teaching in our educational system. So as for the introduction, I will summarize to you about the story. Animal Farm is a story about how these animals in the farm feel mistreated by the farm owner, so they stood up and rebel and shoo away the farmer. And then they were left with no leader situation. No one tells them what to do and how to do stuff. Then it was the pigs who volunteered themselves to be the leader and make rules, and eventually they actually taking advantage of other animals in the farm. They make the other animals to do every work for them. They just collecting whatever outcome that they get. So the other animals felt like it was another yet an operation, like just as same as the previous owner. So Animal Farm is basically a fiction that is written about how political world works using animals as a personification, and the animals is used as that can be found in the farm as the characters. Every animal represented a certain group of humans in your life. For instance, we have the pig that depicted in the story as the ruler, and we have horse, who is very hardworking animal, depiction of the labor worker, and we also have the dogs as a group of loyal supporters, and being the police for the rulers, for the pigs. And the story was actually a conceptual story based on the true event of Russian Revolution in 1917. Now, why I choose to talk about this book and why I think we should make it available in our educational syllabus. The reason is because I think that this book gave us a very good understanding of how the world works. I mean, the real world. And personally, I think this book should be compulsory to be teach in education system, much more relevant than learning like Elephant Man by Tim Vickery that they teach for Form 3 students in high school, for example. I mean, no shades on Elephant Man, it has its own moral values. However, at 15 years old, I think it is not that heavy for our teenagers this day to have an insight about political views of their own. And the world today is changing very fast. Our youngsters need to be given the opportunity to nurture their critical thinking, and this book can definitely help them there. Also, it is not only applied in political world, if that makes you think I'm trying to imply a big concept to our youngster. And I do understand we have a policy where school student or any student for that matter, and in whatever level of education that we are in Malaysia, student cannot take part in any political situation. I am very aware of that, and I'm not trying to get our teenagers to get involved with the political world. However, the satire of the story itself can be applied in any organization, and it can be as early as in the school constitution. These teenagers will have their own curriculum organization, club, leadership programs, and their own association and whatnot in school. And apparently, if we do not realize it yet or refuse to realize it, a mismanaged discrimination and corruption can happen as early as in this kid's surrounding. So, by teaching them this, analyzing animal farm not only could teach them language, but beyond that, we can teach them to think critically, to do critical thinking and decision making, and what is right, what is wrong. And teachers definitely can guide them on how to interpret the story in the right way, in a good way, and how to apply it in the real world later on. And talking about critical thinking, for our youngster, please also remember to not try and invalidate their opinions. If they are wrong, then tell them nicely on why it is wrong, how it is wrong, and not just simply by shut their opinion out. After all, do we want to teach them to think critically, or do we want to mold them to think critically in our way? Think about it. From there, with Animal Farm, I think, in my opinion, there are a lot of moral values that can be learned. We can teach this kid how to treat others right, teach them what justice is, teach them the operation and the operation is wrong, and everyone has their own right, and we have to respect that. For me, that is one good aspect to open the youngsters' eye and mind and prepare them for the future, for our better future too. It is good to teach them since young so that they can understand early and practice the right way of applying their soft skills, so that when they are out there joining the real life society, they should know the right way how to live their life. Me myself, I just had the opportunity to read the book around last year, I think, or last 2 years maybe, can't remember. But for sure, since I know the book, I've read it, and I wondered to myself why I haven't been introduced to this book long ago. I might be more mature in my critical thinking by then. And also, if you haven't got a chance to read this book, I highly suggest for you to get a copy and read. The first time I read it, it blows my mind on how so many things that we can actually relate from the book and to our real life situation. And obviously, we don't have to be an animal to understand it. But really, please have a read when you can, okay? And I stand with my point. This Animal Farm by George Orwell should be a teaching in our youngsters' educational system. So, okay, for now, thank you and stay safe.